I've been doing SEO a long time, and I just found out that you can do custom extractions in ScreamingFrog. And what I was doing previously was building these Python code to pull this. So I thought it'd be a really good example. Hopefully, it saves someone a lot of time. I literally just thought, hey, let me record a video, and if I can save anyone the few hours of trying to decide whether or not to create a automated Python like thing or just use ScreamingFrog, then this video is worth it. So let's just kind of dive into an example. So I've got this website, Dell Web, and basically what I was trying to do was pull out all of their locations for basically a content strategy. And what I had to do, so what I started with was I built this Python code, and basically you can see I had to go get every one of their state URLs and then basically pass it through this thing. So basically for each one of these URLs, I want you to go and look for these class names. And then I want you to put them in a spreadsheet. And so this little print stuff is more for testing purposes. But basically, for the idea is that I'm iterating through this entire website, and really doing this, trying to find the right headline and how to figure it out. What's Selenium going to do, because that's basically what I'm using in Python. All those things. It just took time. It's not like it took a lot of time, but it's time on the task that I didn't really need when I could just pull up ScreamingFrog. And so let me just kind of show you. So I got Dell up here, and basically you can come over to configuration and come down to custom and extraction. And basically, so just for the test, I wanted to do location name and address. And in this case, I'm going to the actual locations of the URL. But what's interesting about this, once I've done one page, I don't have to do them again. So I can just let it keep crawling. I stopped the crawl at 4%. Because I wanted to do the video. So you can see here where I've got the titles coming in, and then I've got the address coming in as well. And then I can add anything I want to from that URL. So if I come over here and I look at this URL right here, I'm pulling this right here and then this right here. And all you have to do if you want to get the quote unquote XPath is you pull up Chrome Explorer, and then you just click on what you want. So I wanted this address, and I can just copy this, copy XPath. Now, one little trick you can do is you can come down here and just hit Control F or Command F if you're on a Mac, and you can just put it in there and see what pops up. If it's going to get more than two, sometimes you'll get errors. So you just want to make sure you get one. And so that kind of brings me to the test. So the test is this: should I make Python or should I use ScreamingFrog? Well, there's a little bit of difference in the approach, and so this is where you kind of decide what you want to do. I think the big overarching thing is you can use ScreamingFrog for anything where you want to just look at the data or you want to have a list. So in our case, this was a content strategy. I want to pull the names of the places and the locations, and then I'm going to put them on like a content calendar or content spreadsheet for the writers. Now, in a situation where I wanted to do something with it, let's say I wanted to pull the description, if they have one here, and let's say I wanted to pull something about these floor plans, but then I wanted OpenAI to rewrite the description and make it beefier or something like that. Well, anytime you want to add in a piece of automation, so anything you're trying to do, Python is going to be great for that, because then the browser can come over here, it can grab this, and then feed this as a variable. Now, you certainly could do that with ScreamingFrog as well. You could download that spreadsheet and then immediately take it into whatever automation that you want. But if you're going to build something that's just multiple processes, I find it's easier to do in Python. If you want automation, let's say you wanted to pull these titles and you wanted to see which one has the most search volume, and you want to pull in like the keyword planner API. Well, yeah, you could do that in Python, and it's going to be probably more straightforward if you do it all in that one project than if you're pulling, ScreamingFrog. But what I wanted to show you real quick, another difference is notice that here in my Python script, I'm pulling from the state. And then one of the things I did before this video started is I was like, hey, I want all the locations. But it turns out that these state pages have multiple locations on them. And so what this does is it creates a list, and then I have to iterate through that list. And whereas ScreamingFrog isn't going to do that. It's just going to pull the one element from the list. So ScreamingFrog is going to excel when you're using the item pages. So like if you're thinking about e-commerce or that sort of end page where there's multiple of these pages, they all have the same template, and you can just pull from the same place because it's an XPath. And if you look at how the XPath is actually created, it's actually telling you, which div it is and all those sort of things. So you're not using sort of more of a relative one, and you're not using one where there's multiple I guess there's only one of these, right? Whereas the other one's kind of like the Python's a little bit more loose. I can go into these pages and grab what I need, and it may pull out multiple ones, and then I can just make adjustments on the fly. So if you want that flexibility, then Python's still the way to go. But if you're just trying to pull location names, then to me, I've been using this tool for like 10 years, and it's just crazy that I haven't seen it. And I thought, so that's a testament to like how cool this is. I mean, I was using Scrapebox back in the day to do this very same thing that ScreamingFrog is able to do now with this extraction. And so there's just so many applications to this as far as pulling out the information from the individual pages that you want. The other caveat to this is that I do think that even though you can get it to run JavaScript, I do think if you're facing a JavaScript page, then using Selenium, where it's just going to render it in the browser, might be a better choice. So that's it, really. That's just my tip for today. And I don't know if I'm going to do these all the time or not, but like I said, I was just kind of blown away by this and really wanted to share it with you. If you got any questions or anything, just let me know. If you want me to go in more depth on the Python script or anything else, I am game to I'm down to do that stuff. Really just try to create content at the point where I'm like, oh, what am I excited about today? And just kind of create it. So there might not be any rhyme or reason to what I'm actually creating, but I'm glad that if you watch this and it helps you, then please just let me know. Let me know this was worth it. All right. Thanks so much for watching.